and we're live. Welcome back to Conversations with, and this is the Beat the Boss Season 2. There's now episode, what did I record yesterday? It's 8, maybe 7, I can't remember, but I'll put it in the title. You may be able to tell that my brain's mush again. It has been on every episode. But we welcome back our guests from the current challenge, and I think we're halfway through. So this week we're going to just give you our progress and our goals. Then we're going to discuss motivation and keeping yourself going in a challenge. We don't want you to drop out. And then we're going to give you a fun fact about ourselves. So we're just going to get straight into it. And our first person we'll speak to is the comedian himself, Paul.
Right. Apologies for not being here last week, but progress pretty good last week. Got a new program I requested, so I started that. Back to going in the gym in the morning now, and it's good. Sets my day up nicely. I think it's always been something I've done a lot. I've always done, and it means I've got to get up another bit earlier, but it's working well. My goal, so Cindy, I'm up to 20 rounds and I think it was 20 reps. That's like another, so I've got to get to 23 rounds, but 25 really, I think I want to go for. Which sounded a lot, but actually I think when I worked it out, it only means I need to get an extra, I think I've got to knock like 5 seconds off a set or something like that. I think when I looked at it, when I broke it down, I think the moment I'm about a minute a set, I need to get down to like 55 seconds, and then that'll get me to 25. So when you put it like that, it's not too bad. I tweaked my wrist a little bit this week, which has sort of slowed me down a little bit, but it's not too bad. Annoyingly, the only thing it really hurts on is press-ups, and seeing that I've got to do like 200 odd press-ups for each Cindy, I kind of might give it a rest this week, just let it see if it needs to heal a little bit. The goals for this week, or basically after the rest of the challenge for me, I'm going to go back into a deficit now. So I've been maintenance surplus for sort of the halfway point. Don't think I've actually put on too much sort of weight, which has been good. The odd days here and there of just massive bloat, but I think that's been sort of blowouts on the weekend. So I'm going to try, I've started today, I'm going to go back into deficit now. That'll be for 4 weeks. And then I'm on holiday then for the last like 10 days of the challenge. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because I ain't going to be fucking monitoring and tracking calories on challenge on holiday. So I'll think about that in a few weeks. So that's for me for the next week.
Fantastic. So Paul, just because we're halfway through and people might be dropping in on the podcast, can just remind us what Cindy is? Yeah,
so Cindy is a CrossFit WOD. So it's a 20-minute time limit. It's 5 pull-ups, 10 press-ups, 15 squats. So my aim is 25 rounds. I'm up to just shy of 21 now. I think it was 17 was my first, I want to say, and then I had a shocker where I didn't even manage about 14 rounds of it. So that's the Cindy challenge. I've always liked the strength, all those sort of goals rather than any other ones.
Okay, brilliant. Good luck, and I guess you just have to maybe set your challenge end date as the 2 weeks before you go on holiday and try and maintain.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, my plan is I'll probably take sort of, because I think if I remember right, the rules are literally 12 photos. So I'll probably take sort of my 11th photo day before I leave, and then I'll do my 12th one when I'm on holiday, and then just submit that. So I know you do get the little there's a window between, isn't there, of like challenge finished and then the last photo.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at the date.
It's about 5
Yeah,
days.
I haven't looked at the dates, to be honest. So I don't think I get back to like, I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to check the dates, but it only sort of dawned on me today. So.
22nd of September, I think, is the last date, the Tuesday.
Would that be to upload your photo then, the 22nd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Well, yeah, that's all right, because I'm, yeah, I think I get back like the 24th, so I just do it on holiday. Fine. Hopefully I've got internet. We'll see.
Okay, well, yeah, good luck. And yeah, nice to have you back this week.
Right.
So I think I muted a few people right now. Why am I getting loads of echo? I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting loads of echo. So on to Sam.
I had a okay-ish week this week. I think I was just shy of 100,000. I think I did like 99 something thousand steps. So I'm classing that as 100,000 because I do my week Saturday to Friday. So the last day for me to get to 100,000 steps was the Friday, which was when it was like 30 something degrees. So I tapped out and was like, no, I can't be bothered. But I think on the Monday from when I set that goal, like I was at something like 40,000 or something. So I did well to pull it up. I lost 3 centimeters this week. And then on Tuesday at the gym, I've pulled a muscle now in my back. So I can't really do many steps. I can't go to the gym for a few weeks. So yeah, it's kind of bummed me out quite a bit. So I'm just my focus has just got to be calories, and making sure that I'm in a deficit because obviously my activity is going to be a lot lower. So I'm trying to balance that out a little bit by sticking to a deficit every single day, whereas sometimes I just try and balance it over a week. But I'm just trying to keep my calories under control to balance out the lack of movement because I'm in agony. So I've fucked myself over well and truly there. But I'm on track. I think for halfway through the challenge, I've lost 26 centimetres out of my 50 centimetre goal. So I'm bang on track for halfway through. But I'm taking the week off in a couple of weeks for my birthday. So that might put a spanner in the works, but it is what it is.
Good. So I guess CFD is the only way to do it really, and but it's the biggest way to do it. So if you get it right, and I know you said you have to keep your calories really low anyway. So hopefully you get a speedy recovery. And however, my biggest tip, and I'm sure other people will tell you, don't try and rush back from an injury.
No, absolutely not.
But just remember, you did get a shout out from our challenge winners.
Yeah, that was
this episode. So
that was really nice and like sort of picked me up a little bit after the shit week that I've had. So that was really nice because it's like what we've said on the podcast before. Like we are influencers in our own way. So that was just really nice just to know that I've helped somebody, and that somebody then ended up winning the challenge, which was amazing. Julie absolutely smashed it. Her 12-week transformation was absolutely incredible. So it got me a bit emotional, but that was really sweet.
Yeah, it was brilliant to hear that you have somebody we know and love as inspiring people. So no pressure, but yeah, you've got to be.
Yeah.
Nice one. Well, good luck with CFD. And Chris, so he's back from his holidays.
Yeah.
What is the effect of the holiday?
I was pissed every night. I was eating Cornish pasties every day. I think I've eaten the biggest Cornish pasty I've ever seen in my life, which is about that size. So there was a sign outside the door that said Cornish pasties starting from £2. And I saw it, and it was about that size. And the guy turned around and said,
"So his size has gone from what most men would say is the average size to what the actual size average.
Oh,
size
at least 12 inches. At least 12 inches. So then I just enjoyed myself, to be honest, but I was making sure I was hitting my 15k steps a day, because my goal for this challenge was to hit the 1.26 million steps in 12 weeks and just keep an average of 15,000 at a very minimum per day. So by hook or by crook, I was getting the 15 in every day, whether it meant running up and down the caravan park, or I was on the gin every night, and I was drinking beers and just enjoying it, to be honest. But when I came back, I weighed myself, and I was still the same weight I was when I left, so I saw that as a win. And then I weighed myself yesterday, just a few days after I've come back. I've actually lost 2 pounds since I come back, which is strange, because I haven't even been to the gym for a week and a half, which I found quite odd. So it just shows you that just by keeping some activity level going and just going and taking the week off and enjoying yourself, you can still do something that doesn't make much of an impact on the overall grand scheme of things. So I think for the rest of the challenge, I've got just under 465,000 steps to get done, which is an average of just under 80,000 a week. So I've been hitting about 116 to 120k a week so far. But I'm trying not to do anything less than 15. So that's going to be my focus just for the next half of the challenge. And I'm back at the gym today, and it was a struggle, a real struggle. But it's done. That's the first one out the road, so I'll probably be in agony tomorrow.
Well, no, that's brilliant. 2 pounds lost. So yeah, the secret is gin.
Yeah. That's the thing. I took the week off. The same as Paul's saying. I didn't track anything. I didn't go into my fitness pal at all. I took the resistance bands with me and was kidding on to myself that I was going to use them. Stuart and I had a bit of a laugh about that. But no, he texts me and he's going, "How's the resistance bands?" I went, "They're still in the box and looking good." I didn't touch them. But it just shows you, but just still continuing with the steps, you can still, it keeps you in the deficit and keeps you going.
Definitely brilliant. But it looked like you had a great time as well.
Oh, so, it was good. It was good fun.
And the English weather wasn't too bad to you either.
It was all right. Yeah, I think we had 1 day of rain. But other than that, it was all right. It was hot, really hot.
Good stuff. Fantastic. Well, yeah, good luck with getting back into it and back on track.
Thank you.
So we're going to speak to Shannon.
So this week has been a pretty good week for me. I started a new challenge along with Nikki and Rhiannon to see, much like your own path, you can get a calorie deficit for the most amount of days at the end of the challenge. And if on the end we're tied, it goes down to who's in the most percentage of a deficit. So that's got me motivated again to get back on track with my eating. I'm ahead of myself on my thrusters. So it works out, instead of like 100 a day, I've only about 80 a day to do now. I didn't go to the bar drinking this weekend. Didn't drink at home either.
Hey.
I was like a big child this weekend and went and bought like bow and arrows and like water balloons and everything. So next on my list to buy is water guns and Nerf guns.
Amazing.
Release the inner child.
Yeah.
What's the goal for this week, other than buying Nerf guns and water guns?
That's really much my goal. I have a christening this weekend on Saturday, so I'll probably have a few drinks at that. And then Sharon is over from London, so I'm meeting her on Friday in Belfast for a bite of food and some drinks as well. So
and some steps of Sharon's coming across.
I would say so, yeah. She'll have me walking around Belfast.
Yeah, you better buy some new trainers. Brilliant. Well, enjoy time with Shazza. Okay, well, so who's winning in the challenge then, or should I just ask Nikki?
We're having our first week complete yet.
Is that okay? Good luck. Well, how are you finding that little mini challenge, Nikki? How was your week?
Um, well, we had some celebrations over the weekend. It was my partner's mum's 50th and his sister's 30th. So Saturday and Sunday were very much, and Friday very much booze related, and then yesterday was just all day knackering. So didn't quite worry about calories so much as just staying upright. But today, back on it today. So yeah, feeling good. I'm a bit too competitive. So I'm already upset that I've not got 2 days in a deficit, but I'm trying to use that positively. But yeah, no, it's good. It's nice having a little extra something.
Okay, I'm on sabotage for now from Friday onwards.
Yeah, exactly. So when Shem and Rihanna together next week, I will be sending them piles of food, as much sabotage as possible. But no, yeah, my week's been good. Busy weekends, but last week measurements going up, well, down as well, which is good. So centimeters lost is good. I'm 3/4 of the way through my challenge goal in terms of centimeter loss, which is quite exciting. But it has slowed down, so I don't think it's going to get much quicker. So I might still hit my goal by the end of the challenge, or maybe a weekend. So that'll be interesting to watch that. But yeah, pull-ups I tried today, and I'm a little bit closer. I think I'm not too far off. I can just about lift myself off the floor with a band, just about, without jumping, because I used to have to jump and then lower myself down a bit. But there's some serious progress there, which is brilliant. Because I've got lots of arm stuff in my program. And the guys, yeah, going well. Goals for next week: beat Shannon and Rhiannon in a deficit, and that's about it, really. Yeah, nope, all running quite smoothly, thankfully.
Brilliant, and that's massive progress then on your pull-up. So
It's getting there.
good luck with kicking ass and taking names.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go to Stuart, who's updated his background yet again.
There we go. Yeah, off unmute. So update on the Murph. I did exactly the same as the week before. Got halfway through. The weighted vest is still no joke. So my goal on the Murph challenge will be next week, just to attempt to get some sort of time to beat, to be fair. But I'm enjoying the challenge. Also, I went to the gym for the first time in years, I think. Got a PT session, so I'm learning deadlift correctly now. So I've got another PT session on Thursday. So that's about it for me.
Okay, so what's the goal for next week? Just stay on track and
just carry on. Yeah, try and climb for enough. If not, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Like I said, the weighted vest is just a game changer. It destroys you.
I'd like to know how you put them on, because I really struggled to get into one today.
I can't believe you put on a 14 kilogram one. That's 2.2 stone that you were wearing on top of what?
I know.
Which must be like 25% of your body weight.
When you sent that picture, I was just like, oh my God.
It was funny enough trying to get in it. It has like elasticated bits, and at first I'd got in it, but then my arms were like this coming out of it. It was just, couldn't move. The shoulder bits are sort of wider than my shoulders, so it comes out to here. It's like a big box, and it was funny.
That's a good find, though. That's probably worth a bit of money.
Exactly. Oh, I'm gonna keep it. Play with it. See what I can do.
Brilliant. So, well, yeah, good to see. It must be nice to be back in a gym with some real advice on deadlifts and doing them properly. I love a deadlift, but partly because I'm quite good at them. So, but it helps when you're 6'8" and you can pull a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck. So over to the US, where I know that Lauren's having a bit of difficulty with just with life in general. But
oh Lord, Yeah, so we had a hurricane come through last week on Tuesday, knocked out power at 1 o'clock, and I just got it back last night late. So that was super exciting when the lights came on. Everybody in my house screamed like, "Wow, we have power!" So that was very exciting. But it definitely messed with my week because we eat, I do all the cooking in the household, so we eat really fresh. And so I was like, all right, I'd have to shop every day for dinner and cook it the second I brought it home because we had no fridge and ice was sold out. You couldn't get any ice or anything. I don't have a generator, so we just lived in the hot house for a week. So it definitely threw things off as far as, we definitely ordered in too much just because it was easier. I worked all week at the hospital, which was a pain, and we had a lot. The hospital was crazy because everybody lost power in all the areas. So we had a lot of patients come in because they had no power at their houses, and it was a crazy week. But it definitely kept my energy up and my steps and things like that. A couple people probably saw on Facebook I did laundry like the old-fashioned way, like in a giant tub, and scrubbed it by hand and hung it on a line, and that's actually really exhausting. I had no idea how tiring that is. And things like that. So definitely kept me moving, which was funny. But I think the best part of the week was Friday. I ended up working in the ICU, and I saw the bariatric surgeon who I had seen for a consult before I lost any of my weight, and he didn't know who I was. And that was super fun. I was like, you know who I am? And I said hi, and I said, do you not remember me? And he like kind of lost his shit. He was like, oh my God. He's like, what happened? Did you end up seeing a different surgeon? I said, no, I ended up doing it by myself. And that was really cool because I hadn't seen him since. And he was the one who told me I couldn't lose the weight on my own. I had to have surgery to get it. So that was kind of a fun, smug moment.
Fuck
yeah.
you.
It's a little bit of a fuck you because he had sat across from me and he was like, there's no way you can take off that much weight on your own. It's just, it's insurmountable. And I was like, really? Okay. So yeah, that was kind of cool. But this coming week is just getting back into the groove. House is settled again. We have power again, getting back into the routine and, getting the meals back on course and the nutrition piece. And, I'm happy. I'm really happy to be where I'm at for the halfway point. I'm a little nervous because I set kind of a high weight loss goal and it's creeping. I don't know that I'll hit it, but I'm seeing the body changes. So I'm not really that disappointed, but I don't know that I'll hit the number goal. So, we'll see.
Good luck. I just got myself a bit confused because people have moved on the screen and I didn't know quite where I was. So but I'll keep it in. Okay. So we're going to cross to the salon or where somebody's doing their nails and speak to Fiona.
I'm just taking the opportunity while I can. I know we'll be here for a while, so.
What?
I just thought I might as well do them all. I will stop if you don't want me to do them. It's fine.
No, it's fine.
So
just keeping the viewers interested.
So my last week started off really well because I was at home. I was going to the gym. I saw a big difference between when I first started the challenge to now. And it feels like it's come on quite suddenly. I just don't feel like I'm as bloated and as big as I was before. But then I went camping with a group of people that I used to be at the same gym as. And whilst the trip is always full of doing stuff like canoeing and all sorts of different activities, there's a lot of drinking involved and a lot of eating involved. But I just wasn't bothered this weekend. I had a really good time, and then I feel like I've come back, and I just feel like I've really hit the reset button. I'm keen to get back in the gym once Pure Gym has started my account now. I'm not registered as working out in Cardiff, so I'm going back to the gym tomorrow, hopefully, if I can get my new pin through. Yeah, and I'm just looking forward to cracking on with stuff for the rest of the week in the gym and work-wise and other bits as well. I just feel like I'm just very motivated and refreshed at the minute. So
good to have a break sometimes and just regroup and go again. So and it was good. You looked like you had loads of fun.
Oh, I had the best time. Like, we go every year, and we've gone for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's always my favourite weekend of the year. It's just, I cannot explain how much fun it is. But yeah, there's no calorie deficit from anyone. The guy that runs it, he's a personal trainer, and he does coaching for personal trainers now. And he always just brings a tub of white chocolate spread just to eat, just around the barbecue, around the fire. He does it every year. So if he's leading the way, you've got no chance. But yeah, everything goes out the window. But it's always worth it for a few days.
That sounds like a tactic. Get everybody fat, and they'll want to use them again next week.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Even the PTs are trying to sabotage us.
Oh, I know. You've literally got no hope. Like, as soon as you're there, it's like drinking game straight away. Like, honestly, it's insane. We did high ropes on Saturday, and that was about 4 o'clock. But we started drinking at about 12, so it was just carnage. So yeah, lots of fun.
But yeah, why not? You got to go and have a giggle and have a laugh sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was my weekend. Plans for this week, actually, I forgot that bit. Just to get back into it, get back to the gym tomorrow. Try and reclaim my gym account back, and then we'll go from there.
So yeah, so Fiona has had somebody using her gym account in Cardiff. Her alter ego has been checking in and.
For 3 hours, and I think something should have flagged at that point, because there's no way that I'm spending 3 hours in the gym. Absolutely not. But yeah, who knows what's happened? Who knows?
No, well, I'm sure it'll get sorted out. So, but yeah, before I forget, I better give my update. So I posted my weight loss on Instagram this morning. So in 7 days, I've lost 10.7 pounds, which is astronomical, I think. It just shows you that I really wasn't doing what I needed to be doing. And I spent a week doing that. And I recovered that back from when I started battling PAV with our deficit loss. He did win the week, so he's gone 1-0 up in the challenge. But I will get that back this week, especially when I weighed in and 10.7 pounds lower. It's all water weight. It's got to be. It can't be that much in fat loss. But I'm going for it again this week. It really kind of motivated me, got me in the gym this morning. I've set my plans for this week. Today I've done a session in the gym. But I'm really fortunate. Some people must hate me, the fact that I can eat, even in a deficit, I can eat 3,100 calories, and I can go and spend an hour working out and burn 1,300 calories. So, well, according to my heart rate monitor. But I've done that and a box fit class tonight. So, this week I'm going for it again. I know that it'll be harder to get that. Definitely hard to get that sort of weight loss. But I'm coming for that sub 20 goal. I am on it. And so this week's all about the gym. Don't know if Stuart knows, but the gyms are open. I just decided. I thought, I'm playing this game with David Lloyd, and it's annoying the shit out of me, and I want to go back to using that when it's fully open. But and they emailed this week saying, they've suspended my membership till September, but after that it's going to cost me 25% to keep it suspended, and it's just a whole load of bullshit. So I found a gym that's a mile from my house that's $9.99 a month with no contract, and I was like, just fucking do it. And it was quiet as fuck, and I loved it. So that is my goal. I want to be in the gym every morning, and I've sort of been inspired by I was speaking to Jo, our secret veggie, and she is like on it all the fucking time, or what she puts out the perception that she's on it. And yeah, she was talking about walks to the gym, does a CrossFit session in the morning, and then walks back, and she's hit her 10,000 steps, and she's done a session. And I was like, do you know what? I can do that. You know, this gym is within that distance. I won't do 10,000 steps because it's a bit closer, but you know, I can maybe go the longer route some days and just get my session in and be done. So I'm using it as productivity. I've got my meal prep done for this week, so yeah, I just feel like my head is finally back in the game properly. Whenever I've tried to rejig myself or get myself going again and reset, I've never quite got to this stage, and it was just about remembering, I've got the tools, I know how to do it, and actually making things happen and getting motivated by it.
Do you think your goal helped with that, mate? Like setting your goal with the calorie thing, do you think that helped?
Yeah, mate, definitely. It just meant I've tracked everything. I've had.
It's a good goal. I've never seen anyone do that before. That like percentage of a, the percentage thing. It works really well actually, because it's so measurable and it keeps you sort of, and it's simple as well. There's no, you can't fucking hide from it, can you? You're either in a deficit or you aren't. So.
Yeah, and I think what has helped with it is I've had a couple of bad days. Days where I've just enjoyed myself. Friday I was absolutely fucking hammered. I did a Shannon. I had the street gathering, and in that street gathering I drank 8 cans of cider. After only eating one meal in the day.
Did you stay up to 8 a.m.?
No, I didn't quite do a Sharon. But yeah, one meal and 8 cans of cider and 1.5. We polished off a bottle and a half of whiskey between 3 or 4 of us. So yeah, I was steaming. And yeah, even my neighbor said to me that on Sunday he was like, "Didn't see you yesterday." I was like, "No, I was out all day." And he was like, "Of course you were." So if my neighbor tells me I'm drunk and he's a good drinker, then I kind of, I was definitely pissed. But it was nice to kind of do that, and it's just not affected. I've been able to log that, knowing that I can pull it back throughout the week. So that goal's definitely helped me. And it was just nice to be in the gym this morning. It really was. Having weights and having stuff to throw around was a real pleasure. It really was. And the fact that there was nobody in there really helped as well. So
probably leads in well to motivation then, to be honest, with your goal and going to the gym and that. Yeah,
I know that I'm happy in there. I just know I'm happy in a gym environment, and I need. I'm a strong person. I'm not particularly that strong in the grand scheme of things, but I need a decent amount of weights to be able to do my sets and just body weighting at home. And it's just that being in that place helps. You're in for an hour, and you've got this shit to do, and then you're done.
Or 3 hours if you're Fiona's hacker.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Ready for the week ahead, and we'll see what I can do. And if I don't put a decent weight loss in again this week, then it will only be because I've not done the right things. So yeah, I'm ready to go again. And we'll see what happens. So now we're gonna move on to focus on motivation, and I guess that kind of led into that a little bit with changing my challenge and finding ways of getting it back. With some of us that have put in little mini challenges, find some accountability partners. But who's I guess we've all had time to think about it. Who wants to kind of let's just jump in, kind of group chat and.
Well, I was going to say, you guys all know, and a lot of people know that I did this kind of this concurrent challenge where I'm reading books during the week, and I wanted to read a book a week, and I read a lot. So, and just the way things have been in the blackout, even I've been reading like 2 to 3 books a week, but that's been really helpful to keep the mindset up when I'm not at the gym. Once I'm at the gym, I'm happy. Once I'm at CrossFit, I'm happy. Once I'm like there, I'm motivated. I don't go there and I'm like, oh, I half-ass it. I go hard. But it's like getting myself there, you know, doing it every day, like keeping that motivation up. And so reading the books during the downtime, you know, even if it's mental health, keeps, like, if my mental health is in a good state, I'm more likely to go to the gym. If I'm feeling better, I'm more likely to go do those things. So that's been really, really helpful to like keep it. I definitely have highs and lows and dips, but they're not as severe. It's not as severe of a shit day. It's not as, it keeps me a little bit more even. So I found that really, really helpful.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about, is trying to just keep the wave, you know, a nice calm sea, rather than, you know, it being really choppy and having loads of ups and downs.
The way we get told this is you want hills, not mountains. So like on my diabetes graph, it's can be up and down. So they always tell you to get hills, not mountains. And it's the same with everything I've put to it.
Yep. I like that.
Okay. Yeah, a good way of thinking about it. You know, the hills and valleys, I guess. It's, you know, just but yeah, I like the fact that, you know, finding that those other things like reading, you know, the ways that you, because quite often, I mean, sometimes if you're reading, yeah, whether it's fiction, or fact or business, or, you know, there's a whole range of different titles, but you can often find some motivation in those as well, that regroups you. So yeah, I like that, Lauren. I mean, for me, I'm just trying to think of, you know, what changed with me was just finding that why again, reminding yourself of why am I doing this? Yeah, and I think because sometimes the negative thoughts are like, you're asking yourself, why am I doing this?
I think that's the biggest thing with motivation, isn't it? Is finding that you've got to be able to want to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I've been in places where sort of I took 2019 as sort of a year for me where I didn't track a single day in 2019. Never tracked any food whatsoever. Still carrying the gym. I saw you there quite a bit, Alistair, but you know,
I never saw you there once, mate. Don't know what you're talking
about. And that was my motivation that year. It was nothing to do with weight loss, nothing to do with anything else. It was mainly my mental health. And I think unless you don't get why you want to do it, what you're trying to achieve from it, and it's got to be something you fucking enjoy as well. Like, I fucking hate running, you know, I've got no interest in running. Or I did like the Murph challenge for the last one, which was like 2 miles. And I did that 10K with you. But apart from that, running, you know, so I would never pick a goal around running because I just don't enjoy it. There's no motivation in it for me whatsoever. And I think you need, you know, it's getting that initial motivation of why you want to do something. And then people are going to inspire you. Like everyone has a shit week, and it might be the most random thing that someone says or does you see that is going to motivate you that little bit more. And you get those sessions when you go to the gym in the morning, it's fucking bollocks, and you don't really want to be there. But I think those ones you grind out, and actually you probably, when you get to the end of it, you probably look back and think, actually, I probably did better then than I do the ones where I'm in a better mood and I'm just sat there tossing off half the time on Instagram. So those are when you get your heads down and sort of like you get on with it, you're actually more motivated sometimes. For me, anyway.
Yeah, well, I think we need to hear less about you getting your head down and getting on with it, and
toss it off
on Instagram.
Toss it off, yeah.
Back of the net.
But I think Paul's so right though. I think making sure your why actually matters to you is really important. Like this challenge I found a bit odd. I've done the first challenge I did is weight loss. That's what I thought I wanted. Mindset's grown, come away from wanting to be a certain number, which is brilliant. But that used to be quite a strong why I was doing this and why I was doing it. But now, so I'm doing centimetre loss for this challenge, which is great because I've come away from caring so much about the scale. which is a good thing, but I don't really know what centimeters lost I want to be. So I've kind of picked a number and gone, well, a centimeter loss doesn't motivate me like it should, because it's not really my why, because there's not like a particular number that I want to get to, if that makes sense. So it's not a strong enough why. So it's making you've got to make sure that the why you're doing this is something that you truly give a shit about and truly care about, and something that's going to pick you up on those days where you don't want to do it. And this is why I'm doing it. Right, come on, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to do this. It's got to be strong enough, and if it's not, then it's not a good enough why, I think, is how I've seen it this last challenge.
And I think the number messes with me too, because like I have this number in my head I'm obsessed with being at weight wise, but like how I look right now at 175, I look better than I looked the last time I was 175, because the body composition is just different. So like you get kind of the why is really big. Like, is this number the big deal? Do I actually know why this number is the big deal, or is it just a number? No, I know what you're saying. That's definitely been an issue.
Stuart.
So I weighed this weekend on what's that? What have I missed?
So last week
we've been raising our hands.
Our hands up. Raise your hand on the screen.
Where?
On the reactions on the bottom.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, and so Stuart's had his hand up.
It's all right. Let him carry on. Let him carry on.
No, it's all right. Go on, you fucking.
All right, Paul, pipe down.
Can't see anything, sorry.
I think going back to the why, but see, my why is Jasper, my son. So that's a universal why for me. So everything I do reference my fitness that helps with my mental health is all going to lead to me being a better dad for my son and being around the earth for longer than I would have been if I was going the way that I was a few years ago. But I also think the motivation side of the thing is surrounding yourself with like you lot and some others from the group, not everyone, but picking who you want to be around. It's true though, because you could get if you didn't have if I didn't know you guys and I didn't speak to you through Instagram or whatever, if I was only going by that Facebook group, you could get demotivated and fuck it off completely.
Yeah.
So I don't pick a specific thing to be my why. Jasper is just my why. That's it. That's what gets me through every challenge in life.
I think that's good enough. That's a strong enough one for you. Then that works.
That's fucking
brilliant. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be measurable. It just needs to be strong enough that it's going to make you do it, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that but like Paul's why at one point it was his mental health. Mine was my mental health and a heart condition. It's not the saying go and give yourself a heart condition so you can have it, but if you
your why can change as well.
Yeah, I agree on that. My when I think about what my why is, my sort of fidgeting started a long time ago, and I was just trying to figure out a way to sort of deal with having my heart broken really, and I just had so much anger in me all the time that I joined a boxing club, and I just beat it out like every single time I went. And then after that, I started feeling a lot better about myself, and I was in a position where I never thought I would be, and felt like really confident about how I felt about myself. But the irony of that is that the more I felt better about myself, the more the weight started to pile on again. So my sort of motivation is, I know how good it felt when I was at my fittest, and it's just sort of like getting back there. And then going back to like the community kind of thing, when I was sort of toying around joining JSA and stuff, obviously I've been following Lauren for a long time, but one of the first people that I started following was Sam, and that was good to see just those two to help me before I even started like getting involved in the community properly. And then in the end I just thought I'd just dive straight in and just start speaking to people. And that's really helped. Like if it wasn't for these, I know that it's a podcast, but if it wasn't for these weekly meetings, I think I'd have been way off the tracks by now. I'd have been sat in my bed eating a tub of popcorn and a bottle of wine, despite sitting here thinking off the weekend beers, but that doesn't count. But you know what I mean. So I think I'd have just carried on ploughing through.
Well, like going off of what you just said, I've found myself in the past few weeks, and it's also kept my motivation up, is like, there were certain people I admire greatly in the group or on their Instagram, and I've actually been reaching out and shooting them a message like, hey, just want you to know I've been watching like for weeks or whatever. You're awesome. Like what you're doing is great, or I really loved how you did this or whatever. And people are usually surprised. They're usually like, oh, really? Oh, thank you, whatever. And when you had said that the first time we did the podcast that you had followed me for a while, I was like, when I post, I pretty much post for myself, and it's kind of like no one's actually looking at this. I don't really, like I don't think people are really watching. And then you look, and like just this week, all of a sudden it kind of shot up, like the amount of people who are following me. And so I've made it a habit to send messages to other people who are inspiring me. And I think it's nice to do that, because like it could, like Sam said, this week, her week was really shitty. But then when she heard somebody else was watching, she was like, oh, that felt really nice. Like, I think it's good to tell other people that they're motivating you too. It gives you motivation, and you don't know when it could help somebody else who maybe is having a shit week or something. And it's like, oh, that I really need. You didn't know how much I needed that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when you see somebody in the gym and you're like, oh fuck, I better go. It's they've been in it. Especially when you see somebody who's been in the gym at 6 a.m. or you're like, fuck, I just got to go and do it. Like, they've managed to get their ass out of bed and go and do it. Go and do it. I think it's little things like that. Or you see somebody post a really nice meal that looks healthy. You also see people posting ridiculous meals that they shouldn't be posting. Maybe don't look at my massive ribs or whatever. But no. But to be fair,
when you see someone. Yeah, or when you see someone driving all the way from Manchester to Cardiff to spend 3 hours in the gym, that's pretty motivating too.
Yeah.
It must be a really good pure gym. There's him. Stuart's still got his hand up. Does he just want to keep it up, or
School boy.
There
you go.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you kind of remind yourself of those whys? Like, because I've seen that some people have got like vision boards, or is it? Do you write it down? Do you kind of put it somewhere that's prominent, or?
I think to me it's got to just work for you. Sort of, I see a lot of people use the whiteboards, but I've never fucking done that, and it's just my own
whiteboards. I've never seen anybody do whiteboards.
Yeah. There's one guy that did it, didn't he? But yeah, I don't think he's about it anymore. But yeah, like to be honest, when James first started doing his videos, it was just a little whiteboard, and it kind of you've got to find something that just works for you. There's no one size fits all. There's certain things I see people do, like, fuck, if I got the patience to do it or keep that going, I just wouldn't. And I think I'd find it more of a demotivating thing for me. But that's just my own. That's just how I did see. Like, I don't know if it's just timed in, but I said about this week to do like motivation, because I did see a couple of posts on the Facebook group where people were sort of like, inspire me. I'm like, go fuck yourself. You need to find your own inspiration. You need to have that why first, and then you will see people that have achieved things like Lauren's done, like you've done, Alistair, like loads of people have done. Use those people maybe as this is what you can achieve, but you need to find that initial spark. No one's going to, you can lead a fucking horse to water, but you're not going to fucking drink it. You've got to be able to want to do it. And I was at stages in my life where I didn't want to do it. I was quite happy to go and get shit-faced and do loads of coke. But it's true. It's true. There's times in your life where it's not what you want in life, and I think that isn't the thing to have in life. Though, let's just we'll blend that one there. Go for fitness. But I just think sometimes people maybe want a magic pill that's going to make everything easy, and it's not fucking rocket science. What you said, Sam. Like, you've got a bit of an injury. One thing I will say though, when you are injured and your body's recovering, you do burn more calories. Like, I've had bad injuries before and I sort of cut my calories down, so don't like not eat anything, because when you are recovering, your body does still burn quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any science in that, but I went on a bit of a rant then, didn't I? I like a rant.
It's true though, because the amount of messages I get from people saying, "Oh, I wish I had your motivation," and I'm like that's motivation is a tricky one because it's so personal as well. Like for me, I think your why being so personal, like mine's similar to Stuart's, like because I've tried losing weight so many times before, but I was never really doing it for me. Like last time I was like I'd lost a couple of stone, but I was in such a toxic relationship and I really hated the way that I looked, and I really wasn't happy, so it wasn't coming from a positive place, so my heart just wasn't in it. And then this time round, obviously because I have PCOS, I'm looking at like starting a family in a couple of years with my other half, and I know that my weight will impact my fertility, and so that's my why, is to just, and then when I do have kids, I'll be a healthy mum and I will be able to you know, go out and play and not be one of those mums who has to sit back and not be able to join in with sports days and things like that because I'm too unfit, you know, and I don't want to be that kind of parent when that time comes. So that is my why. And I'm like, well, you've got to find that in yourself. And then the thing is for me is like, nobody is motivated all the time anyway, but I found now that it's not even motivation, it's almost just become a routine. So like even on days I can't be bothered, I'm doing it out of habits anyway. So I'm just that far into it now that it's not even like I have to look for motivation. It's just there. It's like my daily habits. Yeah. So
your why can change as well. Do you know what I mean? Your why can be, I think in 2018 when I started my first challenge through Jay Alderton in the Santa Shred program, mine was just to lose weight. It was just to lose weight. I saw a photograph of myself that October when I was on holiday, and I thought, fuck, I didn't realise I looked like that. So I just wanted to lose a bit of weight to begin with. And then in 2019, I found a bald patch in the back of my head, and I thought to myself, what the fuck that? So I went to the doctors, and it turns out the job that I'm in was causing stress without me even realising I was stressed. So it turned out I had alopecia. And I'm kind of thinking, fuck, how have I got alopecia? I'm not stressed. I don't feel stressed, but it was diagnosed that it was caused through stress. So my why changed from wanting to lose weight to just doing what you're saying there, Sam, building those habits and just trying to be ahead of the game and not just trying to separate things. And you've got a fitness life and a work life and a family life.
As well, like now, I look back at pictures from when I started and that then motivates me because I'm like, I don't want to go back to being that big at all.
Yeah.
Like I don't, I look at those pictures and that keeps me motivated at the same time because there's no way, now I know how good I feel being smaller, like I've lost 2.5 stone, so that's a massive difference. Like when Nikki's talking about that weighted vest that she's got in Stuart, like I was carrying around that much weight when I started the academy, so like I know how much better I feel now, and I look at those pictures and think, nah, I can't go back to being that size ever again. So you've become your own motivation after a while as well.
Yeah,
I was going to say, Sam, I'm just so impressed by you because when you have a why that's also so far in the future, like you're talking about wanting to have kids in the future, that's not around the corner. That's not even 2 months from now. That might be a few years from now. So you're putting money in the bank, you're investing in yourself, but that's a hard goal because it's not like when you see people in the group who have a dress and like every week it's inching up. Like you don't have a tangible thing you're necessarily holding, or like I have my kids that I'm having right now and Stuart has his kid, you know, he's looking at his little boy, like your tangible why is right in front of you. But when it's something like that's down the road, you know, that's not easy. And it takes a really strong person to head towards that with determination, keep coming back to it even when they go off course. And so, I mean, that's awesome. It makes you really amazing and really strong to do that.
It does, definitely. I think determination is the right word. It's determination over motivation. Rhiannon tells me this all the time, and it's amazing that you get to that point. I don't know whether it's from doing so much the challenge and the previous one, it gets to a point where it's determination over motivation. It's habits. It's, if I don't do it now, it's going to do this. It's going to have the knock on. I'm going to do this because I want that why and I want to get there. I don't have the motivation. I'm in a fucking foul mood. I've woke up tired, but I'm going to do it because I want to and I need to.
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, just what you were saying, Sam, about your photos, sort of, mine's on a different, I look at photos back sort of, I've got a set of photos where I did the body coach in 2017. I was probably most depressed I've been in my life. Look back at those photos, and I was down. I have to remember what I got down to weight wise. I think I was about 79 kilos, 80 kilos, where I'm 92 now. And I look back at those photos now, and some people look at those things, wow, you look like, I was a lot leaner, but my mindset was terrible. I was in probably the worst place in my life. So I look at that now and probably a little bit differently that, okay, my body composition is completely different. My weight's a lot more, but my mindset, my headspace is fucking incredible what it was then. So yeah, I use it probably to look at the visual changes are probably a little bit skew with, but
Yeah.
it's probably the stuff you can't see for some people that, I think that can be another sort of, I never want to go back to that place again where I was 2-ish, 3 years ago. And I know the habits and the motivation I've got now. It was something I taught when I did a load of CBT stuff, and it was stuff to list out of what you found is like routines and what you found is sort of enjoyables and what you implemented your habits. And it was stuff that I would write down in there. It was sort of like walking a dog. Well, that's just a thing I got to do. And I was like, well, actually, no, I fucking love getting out and walking a dog and finding someone walking their pet goose or whatever other shit I randomly find. But, and it sometimes you don't actually see the obvious of what you do find your motivation, what your enjoyment is. And it could be, like you said, Stuart, like, yeah, I don't think you could get a better motivation than your son. To me, that's fucking brilliant. That's probably one of the, I think anyone's going to have as a motivation is that. Anyway, I'll put my hand down now.
I agree. I mean, I think I got to a place where I never thought I would get to. I got down to a number where I was probably more in. I hadn't really ever anticipated getting down to where I was, and then I did, and then I just maintained. And I think it's because I hadn't reset actually what's next. I got to where I wanted to go, and then I had my what's next. It was okay. I feel fit enough and well enough to go and try and do a triathlon, and that kind of has changed. But it was also about believing. Actually, do you know what? Maybe this number. I mean, I remember my dad being on holiday, and he was like, "Yeah, you should be about." And I think he was slightly under, but he was like, "You should be about 17 and a half, 18 stone." And I don't think it's that far off where it should be. Maybe 19. Is probably my ultimate weight. But I never believed that has been possible. And then I got to a place where I'm like 22 and a half. And I felt good. I'm walking around. I don't feel like I'm actually that fat anymore, but I am still carrying too much weight. And there's still another stage to go. But I had to actually, do you know what? That next goal is achievable now. And I didn't, I just never anticipated actually been able to even think about doing that. And I wrote in a post last week that, and this came from a conversation I had with a guy about quitting smoking actually, saying me that I was holding my vape in my hand right now. But when this guy said to me, he came over while I was smoking a cigarette, and he walked up to me and he was like, "You're stupid." And I was like, "Pardon?" He's like, "I never thought you were stupid, but you're stupid." I was like, "Pardon me? What are you talking about?" He's like, "What does it say on those packets of cigarettes?" And I was like, "Oh, smoking kills, blah, blah, blah." He was like, "Yeah, stupid then, because you still put that in your mouth, yet you've got all the information that tells you you shouldn't do it. And that information tells you you will actually die quicker by doing it. So you must be stupid." He's like, "But I don't think you are actually stupid. You just make stupid decisions." And that helped me be able to move off of smoking cigarettes and, be onto a vape, which has got to be at the next stage. But I thought about that when I wrote my post about, actually, do you know what? I'm not a fat person and I'm not stupid, but sometimes my behaviors and actions put out that I am a fat man and I must be a bit stupid because I've got all the tools and all the knowledge to not do those things. And I'm not saying live your life occasionally, I'm not saying go out and have some drinks, but sometimes my decisions are stupid decisions, and I want to stop making those stupid decisions. I don't want to make and I'm not trying to call anybody out, but you are, if you've got and somebody was saying to me, she said, you know how to do it. You've done it. You've done that first, 7 stone. So you know how to do the next bit. You know it's calorie deficit, steps, and get in the gym. So why are you not doing it? And I thought, maybe I'm stupid again. Maybe I'm acting like I'm stupid. And it was those sort of thoughts over the last couple of weeks that really got me back to where I was. I'm not calling anybody stupid for putting on weight but if you're in the academy, James has given you all the tools and all the knowledge to be able to go and do it. It's all there. So sometimes it's just about go and do it. And I changed my mindset. I wrote in that post, I'm not a fucking fat man, I'm a fucking athlete. And it's like, it's how I view myself. I want to be this athlete. I want to be in the boxing ring at 18.5 stone, knocking motherfuckers out. And it's like, I want to be that. So I'm going to act and behave like I'm a fucking athlete as I take another talk on my fucking vape. But small.
So you say you've got those tools there, and it isn't fucking rocket science either, really, is it? If you once you get the basics right, the rest of it, pretty much. I think most of us probably know when we've had a bad week. You can probably, if you're deep down honest with yourself, as long as you don't start fucking lying, you can probably see why. You can probably see where it's come from. So I think, that's the big one as well, is it? You've got to be honest with yourself. And I think Jack did a really good thing in his podcast where he said about his relationship with food, where he'd have like binges in that, and he wouldn't get tracked, and get to the end of the week. He's but I'm sure he said well, I'm in a deficit, but actually just what you've done is you've just kind of lied to yourself, and actually that's even worse, isn't it? Because you think you've achieved something, you think you've done the right thing, but you actually haven't. You've lied to yourself, and you haven't seen anything move. You're like, well, I've done anything right. And there you have. So I think it's being honest with yourself.
Yeah, so many people will post like in the group or something like that, or even in some of the other fitness groups I'm in. Somebody will post, I'm doing X, Y, Z. I'm in a deficit, but I'm not losing any weight and I'm not getting any muscle. What's wrong? And almost always the first comment is, are you sure you're tracking? Are you sure you're in a deficit?
Yeah.
Because we all do it.
I call them secret eaters.
What?
I call them secret eaters.
Your hair is sticking straight up right now. Yeah, it's true. Oh, it's the plant behind you. I thought it was your hair sticking straight up. I thought that was your hair. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, exactly. It's like those, what do they call it? BLTs, bites, licks, and tastes, right? Like all those things you don't count. Like, oh, my kid didn't finish their plates, I'll just eat the rest of those nuggets, and like all that bullshit. And you count.
Bite, licks, and taste.
You never heard that BLT?
That's the new one Paul's going to use.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well, you would have to this weekend. Taste. There you go.
A nutritionist told me that once. She goes, do you count all your BLTs? And I was like, my what? And she was like, your bites, licks, and tastes. Like, oh, I just had a spoonful of this. Oh, I just had a bite of this. If you don't count all those, she goes, you can be adding upwards of 500 calories without even blinking. And I didn't, a quick swig of this, so whatever. And I was like, oh, you're right. So.
I just want a BLT now.
No,
yeah, good. You're making right. It's that is so true. I mean, I started off that challenge against Pav with 8,000 calories on one day. Because I was like, okay, well, I'm in this thing now. I can't lie. I've got to log everything. And I didn't actually feel that I'd eaten that much, but I drank quite a lot, and I was astounded. It was like, shit, that's just added up to 8,000 calories.
Yep.
You have a large pizza from Domino's, it can be 2,500 calories. Some of you on here are only allowed 1,800 calories in a day. But
rub it in.
But
I'm on 1,500 calories. You're on double of what I can eat.
Yeah.
So jealous.
I'm very fortunate about that. I know you can't all be jealous, all right, about this head that I can eat. But I then used that as my motivation. I got back by last Friday to, I didn't get below my weight, my actual calorie deficit goal, but I got back to 100. I was 103%. So I was pretty much bang on with that 8,000 calories because I used that. I'm like, fuck, I've got to get this back. And I did, by making sensible choices, making sure that I didn't have, I was checking, going, is that high calories for what I'm having? I loaded up with high volume, low calorie food to get it back. So, I had that drive to try and recover it. And then I used it to learn this week. I went out and I had a good time on Friday night, but I logged everything again. It wasn't 8,000 calories. It was 3,500 calories. So I had a bit of an excess day, but it was lower than the previous excess day by quite a lot. So now my chase for this week isn't as high to try and drag that back. So definitely log everything. And don't just fuck it, I can't be bothered. And even if it means you can't be bothered to go and put everything on there, guess it probably guess it a bit higher.
Yeah,
it's never going to be fully accurate anyway. So if it's out by 200 calories a day, up or down, it's going to balance out eventually. It's not a massive deal.
As long as you log something, you'll find something that was similar to what you had and just go, oh fuck it, that'll do. Or
even just use the quick add and just put in, like, if you can randomly add up what you've got, even if you find a meal that's similar and just stick 1,000. I've been out, the amount of times I've been on a night out and probably forgotten what I've done and what I've eaten. So literally just add in 2,000 calories. It might be a bit less, but at least it gives you something to sort of work down.
Yeah.
Probably a lot fucking more most of the time, but yeah.
My little trick that I started doing the last few weeks is I've got my whiteboard, my meal planner whiteboard, right? But
where did you get that?
Alex. All right, Alex.
What I'll do is, because I know then, because I can't meal prep, I'm not Pav, like I can't eat the same meal every day, and I love cooking. But I will plan my meals. So then what I'll do is first thing in the morning, look at what I'm having, track it. So it's all there then what I'm going to eat then for the day. So I'll leave myself a few hundred calories for like snacks and stuff or I'll then know to sort of make changes, if this is going to not leave me much room for whatever, much wiggle room or anything. But I found that stopped me then making bad choices because it's there in front of me. I'm like, right, if I eat this, then it's going to take me over. I'm not guessing. I'm not getting to my evening meal and thinking, oh shit, I've only got 500 calories left, because I know in advance when I start my day, this is exactly what I'm working with. And it's helped me make so many better choices and planning my day out around that then. And if I know that I'm going to, I'll plan that I'm going to have a pizza or whatever, it's there then at the start of the day, so then I know how my day's going to pan out and what have you. It's massively helped me, to be fair, because I would never plan, I'd never be organised, and I'd just eat what I wanted in the day and get to my evening meal and be like, oh fuck, I'm having this for tea and this is going to take me over by 500 calories, and you can't undo that then, what you've eaten in the morning. So it's just helped me gain that bit of control over my day, and it's massively helped me, to be fair.
I think sometimes if you add it and you go, okay, I've had it, but fuck it, I'll add it. And then you add it and you're like, shit, I was 500 calories over yesterday. That puts you in a better frame of mind the next day. Because you're thinking, actually, I need to try and get this back now. And if I guess we're speaking about motivation for CFD, but there's a couple of you in here doing a strength goal here. How do you kind of get motivated to go and do that strength workout if you're doing a strength goal?
For me, with my ones, I look at the strength goal will be the outcome will be a change in body composition. So I think Nikki, you said about what that centimeters loss or whatever means. To me, that means I just can't vision that. I don't know what the fuck that means or anything, but
yeah,
at least I know if I pick a strength goal, whether it's deadlifts or improving that progressive overload, or I know by doing that with hopefully the right nutrition is going to improve either my visual appearance, but more than likely for me, just my mindset, just my mental health. and I've never had a problem eating food, so I'm quite good with that. So it's quite good being in a surplus. But I know some people do struggle. It's not, it sounds really easy when you say, oh yeah, I'm going to eat a surplus. It's great. It's actually sort of can fuck with your head both ways. Can really sort of fuck with your head sometimes. I've always said, like, I think 12 weeks in a constant deficit is hard. I don't. Yeah.
In the last challenge, I done 19 and a half weeks continuous.
Really?
Yeah.
And
See,
to me,
I think then I've had a massive break. That like I took the break between the challenge right into this challenge, and I think it was just because I was in it for far too long. Whereas now I feel like I have 6 weeks to do the work, and that's enough.
I think it's sort of that, it takes to be in a deficit for that long. And I think as well, the other way, being a surplus that long can take it. But I think motivation in a challenge is a big one. I don't know what we're halfway through now. And I think if people are looking at dropping out, to me, you've paid your money. Why the fuck would you drop out? All you've got to do is take a photo once a week, even if you're still going to be there in 6 weeks. So just fucking do it. What have you got to lose? You don't fucking worry about what you're going to win at the end of it. Because only one, actually, is only one person this time? I don't even know what it is this time. What do you win?
10. So, and that's a prime point, actually. So a lot of people are in the challenge to try and win the prize. I've never been in a challenge to win the prize. There's, I think it's 10,000 quid for of holiday vouchers, or to choose a holiday that you want.
Hey, Skegness, come on.
They cut 10 grand in Skegness.
You gotta keep the change.
All them 2p machines.
We're all going to fucking Skeg Vegas.
Are we all? If you win, Paul, are you taking us all?
Skeg Vegas, yeah. Go on.
Lethal.
Yeah, but
I'm actually going skeggy this weekend. Legit.
Well, yeah, his Butland's still there. But I think motivation's in a challenge, like to drop out. I just think you've already paid the money. You're committing yourself a fucking fraud if you don't do it. Even if you just think, oh fuck it, I'll pick the simplest goal ever, even if it's literally I'm going to track every day. That's all you're going to do is track. Doesn't matter what calories you eat, you're just going to track it. At least that it puts you in a mindset of being accountable, and you've achieved something. You finished a challenge. To me, that that's a good achievement in itself. So
yeah, actually set that as a goal. Was it for this challenge or last challenge to actually just their goal was to just finish the challenge because they'd done loads and dropped out? I can't remember who it was.
Gemma did. I know on one of her ones, she put on hers. It was literally just I think it might have been a sub goal. I think maybe, but I think it was literally to finish a challenge. And you kind of to me, I think you're doing yourself an injustice if you drop out. Even if you just.
I think people read too much into the challenge in general because, like Paul said, it's just taking pictures. And if you drop out, then you're admitting defeat, and I think that plays a massive trick on your mind then. And exactly it's going to be just a slippery slope. You might as well just stick in it for the accountability and be like, I've had a shit few weeks, but like in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. Like that's nothing that you can't make back. Like for me, I know I'm not going to reach my end goal in 12 weeks. So I don't really look at it like I'm doing a 12-week challenge. It just accompanies my journey because I know that this is going to take me for ages. So
I'm really weird. I don't, and I never have, I don't think, had like a set goal or a set why. I just sort of do it for the crack. And it's like anything with me. Like you still get to see it whenever you meet me in person. Like you could tell me to do something else, like why not for the crack? And it's like whenever I'm told in the gym, like how much can you deadlift? And I'm like, don't know, just fire on weights and see what I can lift. And if I don't get it, I don't get it. And it's the same with my whole journey. I'm like, I can just do it and get there. If I don't, I don't.
Not even that. Even if they don't want to finish the challenge or they just don't upload the photographs, but try and stick to it and just even finish the workout programs or the deficit you're sticking to, whatever it is. If you're not that bothered about winning it and you can't be arsed finishing it, just don't put the photographs in. Just try and at least stick to the workouts and do something. Because you said, Paul, you paid for it. Why not
keep those habits going? Yeah.
Right. Can I ask you guys a question?
Of course.
Sorry. I think I might have frozen for a second then. For you lot that have done more than one challenge, have you found like the second challenge or the consecutive challenges after your first, not necessarily easier to stick to, but you find yourself a bit more motivated? Because I know from my experience on the first challenge, well, obviously I'm still on the first challenge, I feel like I've started off with a bit like wobbly feet on it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's taken me a while to get into the game.
Absolutely.
So I'm just wondering,
Tav
from your
speaks about this on
perspective,
his
find it easier
podcast.
to get into the game. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
where
Pat
he
says
says
it.
it takes you about 6 weeks to get into it on your first challenge, and then if you just stay the 6 weeks, have like a week off, and then go straight back into it for your second challenge, he found it like loads better. I can't comment for me, but
this is my third challenge. In the first two, I did what Paul done. In the first one, I was in surplus, and I found it harder than a CFD. I fucking struggled. I just couldn't find the right foods to eat, and by the time I got to the end of it, I was just eating whatever I wanted to, just to fill the calories up. It was pointless.
Calories, I can give you a model for it.
And then I think I found this third one that I'm doing. This is the most focused I've been doing it by far.
For me, for sort of the back-to-back chat, I think Simon did a couple of brilliant ones where he went, I forget which, I think it might have been Vegas or what, I fuck knows where it was going. And he like leaned right down, and then the next one, he sort of bulked up again and was in surplus. But for me, I kind of know I'd had a bit the first sort of 2 weeks of this challenge. I kind of flowed along a bit. I think I just was to do back-to-back challenges for me. I won't do it again. And I think it's probably a lot to do with what this year's been like. Sort of the first challenge, probably the reason I really signed up was I knew COVID was sort of just coming. I think it was like things were going to get a little bit shit, or at least it'll keep me accountable. And then this challenge now, the reason I set my goals for what I did is that it didn't matter what happened with the gyms or anything. I had something to keep going. But it took me a while, this challenge, to get, I think because I'd done 12 weeks in deficit, give or take a few weekends, it took me a little while to get any, not that, yeah, a little bit, I guess it goes to that motivation or just that why, maybe for a few weeks went. But some people are the opposite. Some people find it takes them 4 to 6 weeks to even get going. But it just, it's just personal, you know. I think you got to, my personal thing is no, I won't do another 12 weeks challenge again after this. That's just my personal decision on it. But I think and it also depends on what your goals are, but it can, I think as well. But you said already, Fiona, that you love going to the gym, don't you?
It said Fiona left.
Fiona just left.
Oh, she's cut out.
Okay, is she? Oh, I'm sorry.
call you up, Saturn.
What I was going to say is, like, she already said before that I think she loved being in the gym. I think was like her main, that was one of it, like she was buzzing for the gym to get open. So it probably ties in for that you've got that in your head already. You know that day's coming, and she already said herself, like the last 2 weeks, she's felt a lot more motivated than she did in the past. So yeah.
I think sometimes if you've fallen off, or it's your first challenge, you've got to learn, where am I now?
Yeah.
She's back.
Hey.
I will hold you back. She's on mute though. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, I dropped out. I don't know what happened. I froze, and then that was it.
That's all right. So we were just answering your question. Paul gonna give you an answer, but maybe you'll have to listen to the podcast back. It might give us at least one listen. But I was about to just add that I think whenever you fall off the wagon or you're new, you've got to learn, where am I now? So almost just tracking, if you lived your life as you were living it before, what would you learn about yourself? Where are your weaknesses? When do I make bad choices? What foods am I eating that I could swap out for other things? And you do your learning in the first 6 weeks, and then you try to like cut back your calories down to a fat loss, calorie target, or maybe even get down to just being in maintenance because you've been putting on for a while. and then I think you use that next 6 weeks to find where it's good, and then you can kick into the second challenge, and and then you can move forward. And Shannon, you're very welcome to go to the toilet if you want to. She's been
Are
holding
you
her
just
hand
doing a
up.
nap,
Please, sir.
Cecily?
I just had my hand up.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is, if somebody listening wants a real good, like, low calorie snack with high protein, is the wee pops of 3 for £7 calamari out of Marks and Spencer's. It's like 100 calories and it's 20 grams of protein.
How does that relate to motivation in a challenge, Shannon?
Because people are trying to stay in a calorie deficit.
Have you been on another call somewhere? You're holding.
No.
I thought I'd lost it for a minute then. I thought, where the fuck has calamari come from in this? Jesus.
Shannon,
just
Shannon, do
figured
you
out
want a
the
snack?
M&S
Is that
fucking
what
I
it's
just
like?
think about food all the time.
She's been building up for this. She's been waiting to talk about calamari this whole fucking time. Isn't she?
So I guess
Whilst eating a packet of Smarties.
yeah, well, I get. Were we going to talk about snacks in this episode, or was that?
I think Shannon wanted to, but I think she's maybe said her piece now.
I could talk for hours about snacks. So.
That could be a whole
Sam.
Yeah, I thought we were doing supplements, snacks, things like that in another episode. So yeah.
I've got one more on motivation. If we've still got a little bit of time.
No, Nikki, we don't want to talk to you anymore. Sorry.
Okay, fine.
Fuck
you.
I said fuck you.
That was brave. Because already says she's pissed off as she joined the call.
Yeah. Come at me.
All right.
Do your pose, Nikki.
Is that seagulling?
Oh. The blinds are shut.
What's seagull
No
involved?
No.
I would like to hear what you've got to add. Fiona's gone again, so we've obviously upset her again. She's coming back. Coming back.
She could hear Paul talking about seagull and.
The thing I was going to say, something me and Sam spoke about earlier in the week, and the motivation. It's big picture. I think when you're in a challenge, looking back from, especially when you're halfway or 2 or 3 weeks in, looking back to the start of the challenge, you may not see changes, and maybe this isn't applicable to someone's first challenge, but you've got to look back to the start of where you started your journey, not necessarily your JSA journey, but where you started from that, and that's the big comparison. I think that makes a huge fucking difference. Looking back over week to week, and it's why I really try not look at photos like weeks 2 to 5. I will only look at 1 or 0 to 6, because that's where you see the changes. The changes aren't always massive week on week, but put that time scale in, and then you can see it. And if that's something that motivates you, don't look weekly, because you'll spend hours agonizing, analyzing photos. You make yourself miserable. Not to point fingers. But no, I meant it positively, Sam. But yeah, you look at the start. Sam's journey is incredible. Look how far she's come, and it's absolutely amazing what she's achieved.
Mm-hmm.
True. So look at the start. Look at the start. Don't look week on week on week on week. It'll make you miserable.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought of often was actually it took me. So I was about 18 stone when I was 18, right? And I put on that weight up to 30 stone, 12 stone, right? It actually took me, probably about, I think 15 years to put that weight on. It's not going to take me 15 years to take it off.
Take it off.
But it is also not going to take 12 weeks to take it off.
Right.
I sent Nikki a picture that said that exactly. It was like, it's taken you 20 years to get from here to here. Don't expect to get from here to here in like 6 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was looking, like Nikki said, I was looking at my pictures for this challenge, and I was like, I was so disheartened because I wasn't. I was looking like and thinking I couldn't see any changes. But then, like Nikki was saying, you need to look at where you started, big picture. Like, because this is just 6 weeks out of a whole journey. So there's no point looking week to week, because, and I think that's where I've struggled with this challenge, is because my last challenge was the first one I'd ever done. I didn't really know what to expect, so I just went with the flow. And then this one, I found that I'm focusing on my pictures quite a bit more. and it's just messed with my head. And I kind of don't. I'm struggling to separate focusing on the challenge from focusing big picture, if that makes sense. I actually messaged Kay because she's done like 7 challenges or something ridiculous. She's messaged me back while we've been doing this, so I don't know what she said. But she's like done, I don't know if she's done them all back to back, but I know she's done, is it the
Yeah, I
last
think
3
she
back
has.
to back or something?
I think
So
she's done pretty much everyone back to back.
yeah, it all depends on your mindset, I think, and what type of person you are, and whether
definitely.
it's a good thing or not. Because I don't know if, I mean, this challenge has been, I think, a lot harder for everybody, maybe some more than others, because of the whole lockdown and everything, and stuff like that. Gyms being closed, which are back open now, Stuart, in case you didn't know.
Some of them are closing down again.
Yeah, or Scotland, they haven't reopened. Sorry, Chris. Well, Chris has got his own gym, so that's fine.
But 14th of September. Fucking hell.
I reckon we're going to shut over here again. It's okay.
Well, yeah, I think if what you're doing is not working for you, don't stop doing anything. Just change it.
Yeah.
Try something else.
Brilliant,
That might
yeah.
not work for you. I've had to change my goal from in mid challenge to get to I had to reset my why. I had to go and and I found something. And we spoke on this podcast a number of times about, okay, I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try to get myself back into it. Actually, I've now found that, I think, but that was 2 or 3 times, and I'm.
Sometimes I have found setting yourself mini challenges that align with your goals within the challenge really helps. Like the fact that now me and Nikki and Rhiannon set this mini challenge of the calorie deficit is going to help align with all 3 of our goals. I know Rhiannon's not doing the challenge, she's doing Project X, but it's going to help all 3 of us.
That's why I like the step challenge that was going on that Graham was doing, which is not a thing anymore. But that really helped, because that was like a bit of extra accountability for like getting steps in and stuff, and it just fit in really nicely with everything else. So things like that, just to take the focus. That's why I think Pav talked about it as well on his podcast, where he said about sub goals and stuff. Just having something else to focus on as well, to stop you getting disheartened or focusing too hard on one thing. Look at other things that will complement your journey and stuff like that, and help you achieve your goal long term. Don't just have one goal, just look at all different things that will help you build up habits across the 12 weeks as well.
I think and understanding if you want to lose, let's take a massive number. If you want to lose 100 pounds, right, 3,500 calories is a pound, right? So you want to lose 350,000 calories. You've got to be in a deficit. How long is that actually going to take you? Yeah, that is going to be 2 years.
Over 2 years.
I was going to say, I'll tell you when I've got to my goal of 100 pounds lost.
Yeah, I did that. It took over 2 years.
Yeah.
But understanding that's just how big the challenge is. 100, if you think of 100, it's not, okay, I can lose 100 pounds. Even if you want to lose 1 pound this week.
That's what James says, isn't it? Yeah, you've only ever got 1 pound to lose.
But if you want to lose that 1 pound, that's still 3,500 calorie deficit. If you're not tracking at 3,500 calorie deficit from your maintenance, you're just not going to get there. And if for somebody whose maintenance is maybe only 1,800 or 2,000 calories, to take 500 off a day, which is what a pound in a week would be, you're having to go to 1,300 calories. Can you live on that? No, I can maybe live on 1,550.
So you're in a slow deficit.
So you're going to be in a so there is it is going to take time, but if you give up today and you put a pound on this week, you're 2 pounds away from where you were going to be. So now you're 7,000 calories to get that back. If you give up for 6 weeks, you're going to be even further away, and then you're going to have to go again, and you're still going to feel shit, and you're not going to be where you want to be. Yeah, so one thing that worked for me was doing Paul Mort's Unstoppable 28, and it was just one question. You're meeting up with me in 12 months' time. What is it you want to tell me? And then using that to work back.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah,
It's because that helps you visualize what it is.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be that in 12 months' time I want to tell you that I'm pregnant. Or in 12
Interesting,
months'
Alistair.
I was gonna say that'd be a shock if you were.
I guess it's got to be an achievable goal.
But
There's
that's like,
way.
for me, because I have to be on even lower calories than somebody who is the same height and weight as me. Like I could go. I do need to go lower really to sort of be on par with being in the 3 and what is it? I'm no good with numbers, but whatever. So for me, I just had to accept that it's going to take me longer because I'm in a smaller deficit. I might not be in quite the 15% deficit because that would then mean me being on like 1,400 calories, which for obviously like my height and weight is really, really low because my calories should be like 2,300 or something. So like I just had to accept that it'll take me longer. So comparing yourself to others, probably, I'm surprised nobody's mentioned that, to be fair, because that's massive demotivation for me. Because I look and see people achieving in the 12 weeks like so much more than what I have, but at least I know that I'm still making progress, but it's in a sustainable way. So I'd rather get there slower and get there to the end rather than try and get there quicker and then fail and not get there at all.
Then what you'll probably find, Sam, is that the more weight that you're losing, the more activity you'll want to do.
Yeah.
And therefore, as a byproduct, more calories in the back end of that. So you can stay in the same amount of food, but your activity level's going up a bit, so you'll probably start to burn it more.
That's what I said last week. That's why my steps are a big thing for me, because I'd rather be more active to put me in a deficit than drop my calories. I just find that easier to manage because if I get hangry, then it's no good for anybody. So.
Sorry.
Okay, I think obviously the internet is fucking with people a bit tonight because your polls just dropped off.
He's coming back on. His internet's
Coming back.
Yeah, I'm back on, but I'm on my mobile, so.
Okay, you are there? Is that just this ghostly voice in the
Not
background?
just a stranger that's just randomly joined the call. Rep from Slimming World.
Say your name.
Is that who was on the gym for you?
So I'm expecting to hear this Welsh voice now, but yes.
I've just joined the call just to offer you all a fantastic business opportunity.
Oh no.
Don't Stuart
Got
with
some
the
fantastic products for a deep cleanse.
Oh boy.
It involves chamomile, bay leaves, lemon, complete detox. You'll love it.
And how much pounds am I going to lose a week?
21 pounds in 10 days.
Hey.
Yeah. That 100
Here on
pounds
it.
got in days.
So I guess if you are struggling to find that why or whatever, you've got to search deep within. If you're messing up, you've got to ask yourself the serious questions. I think sometimes you've got to go in a dark room and just have a really straight talk and chat with yourself.
I think everybody must have a.
Can I put the light on? Please?
Everybody must have a why to have joined the academy and the challenge in the first place. I think sometimes it's a case of looking back and remembering that. If you lose sight of it, I think remember why you joined, why you started, because there must have been something to trigger you to, join the challenge in the first place. And like Paul said earlier, commit to spending that money. Because if you've already spent the money, then that to me, like if I put money towards something, I stick to it then, like proper. So I think everybody's got a why. Like I said, I think some people just forget or lose sight of it because life happens, doesn't it, for some people?
Yeah, but about how many people join the gym at 50 quid a month and on the 1st of January and go for 2 weeks and then don't go back? And
This is true.
And they spend.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind paying only 50 quid.
Yeah, I know.
Whenever you pay for CrossFit, it's a whole lot more.
But but there is sometimes people that's not giving them enough of a, enough of the why. If you give more fucks about having a McDonald's than tracking your calories, you're not going to track your calories.
Yeah, true.
It's you care about that more, or you don't care about yourself enough. And that can be so much deeper. Sometimes it's not just about finding motivation or whatever. Sometimes you need to go and do the work with a professional, to find a deep-rooted cause or whatever it is. But I think you can do a lot of soul searching yourself sometimes, and really, I always phrase it as go and sit in a dark room and have a serious chat with yourself.
I like that.
Journaling's really good for it.
Sorry, who's good?
The journaling's really good for it, to find like your why for things. Because you start writing and you don't know what you're going to come out with, and then all of a sudden it's there and you're like, whoa.
It's like word vomit, isn't it?
Yeah. And nobody has to listen to it, so it's even better.
Some people know that they're having to listen to my journals at the moment. I'm not here to promote anything, but my word vomits are being published. Just you're really going to question, why do I need to lose this weight? Sometimes it's a need more than a want.
Yeah.
And it's not just about seriousness. Do you want to die? That could be that deep. It could be. Do I want to look back at my wedding photos in 20 years' time in disgust because I just didn't manage to get myself going? Do I want people in the street to drive past in a van and shout things out that they shouldn't shout out? Do I want to hear the compliments from my friends and family? Because I tell you what, that is, and even now, that just warms my heart when you meet somebody and they're like, even if you're just telling them your story, and they're like, "That's fucking amazing," it's just like, that bit can kick you up the arse and make you go, So, but it's individual to everybody. I was kind of trying to buffer it out, hoping Paul would get back on, but obviously the internet service providers are fucking with us. But maybe we should just start with a fun fact about ourselves. This is meant to be a funny section. I hope you've all not gone serious.
No, I got funny.
You feel funny?
You go first, Lauren.
Oh, I have to go first. Okay. So, I mean, if you met me in person, you'd probably figure it out pretty quick, but most people don't know online that I was raised very, very gypsy. So I read tarot cards, I read crystal balls, I read palms. I have a pretty significant, spell work apothecary at my house. So my daughter told her teacher I was a witch. So that was super fun and super awkward.
Can you do these online? I love all this sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I've done stuff online, sure, but I do seances every year for Halloween. I do, yeah. So
oh my God, I'll text me after this.
So yeah, I do a lot. I mean, my whole arm's covered in tattoos related to that stuff. So in person, you probably figure it out. But I do energy readings. I do all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty funny when I meet people.
Amazing.
That's my fun fact. Who's next? Nikki's next. Just because I can see you. You're
okay.
viewers on my screen.
Okay. My fun fact that I don't know whether any JSA knows, I think Rihanna might actually, because it came up. I am a black belt in kickboxing. Haven't trained for a little while, but I'm a black belt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
being 5'5", I used to be able to kick 6'2", which used to be a bit of a party trick at one point, which was quite cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was going to say I'll have to start being nice to you, but I'm 6'8". I might have reach.
I might get you, might get your chest, I might get your armpit.
Remember, she can reach her nuts.
Yeah, I was just about to say
yeah.
shorter girls are the worst.
There's nothing there anyway, mate.
Probably hit my nose.
You go, Chris.
Mine isn't so much a fun fact. It's more for this one's maybe more aligned to you, Alistair. I am relatively good friends with Stilian Petrov.
Who?
So,
Celtic player.
I know who he's
Good,
talking about.
So Stilian Petrov is a football player who struggled with
Leukemia.
Yeah.
But was a bit of a legend at Celtic and Aston Villa, where he played for both for quite a long time.
Done a fun way around it.
Did you make friends with him whenever he was at Celtic?
No, it was only about 2 or 3 years ago. I met him at an event. My brother-in-law runs an events company, and I met him at a Celtic conference event, and the two of us just hit it off, and we stood and had beers, shared numbers, and now we speak quite regularly.
That's amazing. Love it.
There you
go. I'll be sending you a shirt to get signed or something.
Feel free.
I'll make sure it's a sweaty one from the gym on that day. I'll wear them all for a week and package them up. You can wash them and send them
Can you become real good friends with Kieran Tierney there for us, Chris?
I've met him a few times as well, just through contacts at Celtic now, which is quite interesting.
Oh. Paddy Roberts?
No.
Oh.
I've met him.
Get them two, you were just living the dream.
Another strange. An additional strange.
I said, thinking lower and lower on that couch, getting all.
An additional strange fact on top of that, an event last year, I was on a birthday holiday with Debbie. I was in Ibiza, and my brother-in-law texted me and said, "When are you home?" I said, "I'm not home until Thursday." He says, "Oh shit, sorry." I says, "What is it?" He says, "Henrik Larsson's over and he's playing golf at the Ailsa course in Turnberry, and we needed an extra person for a 4-ball at a game of golf, and I was still in Ibiza, so I missed out."
Oh.
Gutted.
I'm actually heartbroken for you.
Absolutely gutted. But I met him the day after it.
Lauren's just like, I do not know what you're talking about.
I'm sure they're all beautiful people.
Well, Henrik,
Patrick Roberts and Kieran Tierney,
I would
yes.
with Henrik, I'll tell you. Okay, so Stuart, let's just jump to you.
I am known when I lived in Antigua I was working in an Irish bar called Shamaruni. This girl came up into the bar with her quite big boyfriend, and it was pointed out to me that it was Charlotte Church and Gavin Henson. I didn't have a fucking clue who they were. They were fine, drinking away, and then Charlotte Church started getting rowdy. She then tried to change the music in the bar, which is a no-no in the bar that I worked in, and I had to pick her up and escort her off the premises. And I was known in Antigua for the person that chucked Charlotte Church out of the Irish bar.
I'm away to do some investigating again.
Of that.
What was that?
I'm away to investigate this again.
Gavin Henson didn't do anything. It was as if he was like, "Yeah, I know what she's like. Do what you want."
She is notorious for it. If anybody knows about her nights out in Cardiff, she is notorious.
But they got engaged in Antigua, and I think they ended the relationship like 5-6 weeks later. So that was it.
Okay, from the dark room, Fiona.
So I spent a year working in Australia when I was younger on a kids camp. Before I went, I'd passed my driving test about 2 months before I left. When I got there, Part of my job was to drive to the various camps and do some off-road driving. So I had to take a course in how to drive various vehicles off-road, through rivers, up and down mountains, and it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, that course doesn't translate into anything over here, but I'm technically qualified to go off-road driving.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I probably can't remember any of it now, but it was good.
Nice.
Nicely done.
Thanks.
Sam.
Mine's really not that all exciting, to be honest, compared to everybody else's. I'm not really an interesting person.
Yes, you are.
Lies.
I couldn't think of anything other than the fact that apparently a lot of people don't know this, because my own boyfriend of like nearly 2 years didn't know this, that I can actually play 3 musical instruments, and I got up to my grade 5 theory, which is equivalent to like a GCSE, I think, or is something like that. I got quite far. Yeah, something like that. And I was actually in the school orchestra and played with is it a military band? I think the band that I can't remember what the concert was for. But yeah, and I very nearly joined the military band, but I thought it meant that you had to be actually in the army, and didn't want to be in the army, so I didn't join. I was in high school. I must have been about 13, 14 or something. I played the clarinet from about year 8 or 9, I think, all the way through to college, finishing college when I was 18. Didn't really take it much further after that. I can play the guitar and the piano.
Very nice.
Or I used to be able to. I probably can't remember how to do it now. So I'm not going to give Chris any competition, don't worry, but I could play.
So, well, we've got a concert being lined up, haven't we? Thursday.
Like it.
Okay.
End of challenge night.
There you go. Well, I realised to play the guitar you have to have short nails. So it was a toss-up between having nice nails or playing the guitar, and I went with having nice nails. Sorry.
To be fair, to do a toss-up, you should also have short nails.
Way to lower it.
And Shannon?
I'm going to give you 2 facts. So I done Irish dancing from I was about 3 years of age, and I have about 30 world Irish dancing medals.
Wow.
Yeah, I've won in everything as well. Been in like the top 30 within the world as well, like solos. And then my second fact is I have been on my deathbed with sepsis in ICU and come back from it.
Wow.
So you've seen the light.
Let's tell the tale.
Seen the light.
More importantly, if we give you enough drinks, will you Irish dance for us?
Yeah, of course.
Will you teach us?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Shannon doesn't drink anymore.
Until Friday, until I get with Sharon. And then next Monday, I may be a bit boozy on the podcast because I'm with Rhiannon.
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, well, Rhiannon's not allowed on. She's not part of it.
Careful, she's listening.
We're staying in Gary's, so it could go anyway.
Oh, you definitely fucked then. I've only met him once, and that guy definitely likes to drink. So, my fun fact. So I'm 6'8", and I've only got size 8 feet. I'm joking. I'm joking. I've got size 14 feet, but
I was like, what the?
Like, blew my mind.
I'd fall over.
All the window went silent. We all went silent.
I'm joking. I've got size 14 feet, but
He's just trying to bag now, isn't he?
no, my
You know what they say about big feet?
Big
socks.
Jinx.
Yeah, big feet. Big
Personal
socks.
jinx.
So, too many questions. But try being that size, having big feet, and also being Scottish, and you wear a kilt, and you get those 2 questions. You know, do you wear any underwear? Is it as big as we think it is? And, so I won't give you the answer to both of those. Maybe I'll just wear a kilt.
Did I miss
You have to find out.
Is this the fact? We all
No,
know
no,
what
my
the
fact is actually my fact is actually that I've as a child I was on Annika Rice or Challenge Annika. If anybody remembers what Challenge Annika was. So
Yeah.
Lauren probably doesn't know what Challenge Annika was. Challenge Annika was a TV program which had Annika Rice, which a
Who
beautiful
can't dance for shit.
a beautiful blonde lady, and she used to go around with her truck to do challenges, which were like charity type challenges, and she had a buggy and everything in the back of her blue truck. So I was on Challenge Annika twice. One for the local RSPCA centre, which were rescued seals, and she went in to build a seal pool, and we helped to do that. Put in fencing and things. I was only about 8 or 9 years old, and about a year later, she came to help close the hospital and take all the stuff from the hospital to send to Romania after all the civil war. So, and we helped pack up the truck.
That's really lovely.
So yeah, that's I've never looked back to see if I can find the footage, so Shannon can.
Oh, you should.
Well.
I'll go hunting.
But yeah, yes, it's true. I think there's one image of me, because I was obviously still quite tall, so you'll be able to identify if it was me or not. But yeah,
You'll have to text me what the name of the show is because I feel like it's way before my time.
It is definitely, but she was on Strictly. That's how I know of her.
Yeah, Challenge Annika is what it was called. Yeah, Stuart's was kicked out as well, but now he's back.
Paul's asking, is he too late?
No, Paul, get on now, Paul.
He's got his facts though ready.
Get him on.
Shannon, if you go investigating, there's a clip of me on a TV game show. I don't know if you'd definitely be able to find it because people find it all the time and love to send it to me.
What is it?
I was on the Newlywed Game.
Okay, I'll find it. My mum was actually on, you probably won't have heard of it, but Winning Streak. It's an Irish TV show. And she got to spin, like, the way they get you through to like a certain stage and then you get to like spin the big wheel or whatever. She got through to that stage.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh, Bubby.
Geyser's here.
Oh, Bubby. How's he doing in the heat?
Oh, he's struggling bad.
Yeah.
You can get those cooling mat things for him to lay on. They're meant to be quite good.
Yeah, he doesn't sit on them.
Oh, well.
I know a few dogs that have them and they can't sit on them at all.
Yeah, my
dad used to always say there's one thing you can rely on a dog for is to find the coldest spot in the house and also the hottest spot in the house.
I won't howl on it while it's being recorded.
No, don't howl.
Oh, he's so cute.
Connection.
Oh, he's not getting on.
Paul's not getting on.
No, Nikki, do you want to read out his fact?
No, you can. Go on.
So Paul used to be a merchant navy master captain and he did it before he could drive a car.
So, if you've seen any of Paul's photographs of when he was out at sea, it looks like actually pretty fucking amazing. When he was a shrimp captain and stuff, and it just looks like he was just chilling on a boat for 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
He also says now that his internet connection is gone, that his motivation has also gone with it.
Well, when you
that's because he can't Instagram Snoop now.
Oh dear. But there you are, some fun facts about us, and a whole load of stuff. A really deep discussion about motivation. Obviously, we've upset our listeners again because that's almost 2 hours. But do you know what? If it's too long for you, please just press pause. It's pretty simple. That's you know, I feel like I've gone all James on you, but you know, we are looking for more listeners. Yeah, but I think we've covered a really meaty subject, and if that can get you back on the wagon and back in the game, then it's worthwhile us spending the time doing it. You're looking at the video now. Shannon's asleep on the sofa, and apologies, we lost a couple of guests throughout it there. But we will be back next week. We also recorded the special with the Bingtangs and Bali winners yesterday, so you've got 2 you can listen to this week. So we'll keep a bit of a delay, and hopefully that you can catch up. Please like and share. We appreciate everybody listening. Thank you very much.